right, so we're here to show off this really cool Starfall, one-of-a-kind, Starkiller inspired brass, copper, just nice piece of artwork. So let's jump down. We'll talk about the internals, we'll show what's going on, and then we'll come back out and we'll go over some functions. Okay, we got a Starfall Starkiller, one-of-a-kind. Man, this thing is beautiful with tons of brass and copper accents, the one replica switch box that kind of matches the aesthetic. It does sport a 1-inch diameter NeoPixel with a stock V3. And there are 2 crystals. There's the quartz crystal and a marble crystal, which we'll open up and see. And then there's several accent strips. There's an accent behind the crystal that is off in the off state, but when the saber is on, it will light up. And yeah, so let's just go through it. This takes a set screw that is provided here. And I like the way Nick did this. He's been doing this on a lot of his newer sabers where he'll put a little indentation on the hilt so that the set screw has a little bit more to grip. And I guess because there's some milling and lathe work here, he just wanted to make sure it didn't scratch it up. So yeah, there's a PLI indicator with a 19 pixel ring illuminating that. And then we have a marble crystal chamber on the opposite side, which is illuminated from beneath with a NeoPixel accent. And then a custom chassis designed by me in silver, with silver and gold accents, just with rub and buff. And 2 accent strips. These are 2020 NeoPixels with 5 sub blades. There's 2 outer, a central one, and then mirrored inner ones that all do different things depending on which font it is on. Sports a 28 millimeter bass speaker from the Saber Bay, high amp kill switch. So if we just turn that to the side, everything's off. And then when we hit it on, we'll get a boot sound. And then most of these accents will do something in the off state. And then when it's on, which we do have twist on, it'll do something a little bit different depending on which font. And yeah, smooth swing. And then a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of the accents will react to lockups and blaster blocks. So yeah, twist on, twist off, or thrust on. And then power and aux. So yeah, really cool saber. And then I did a custom battery wrap with for the 18650. So yeah, put this grip back on, and then I'm going to demonstrate this with the blade in and get this off to its owner. So thanks for checking it out. Okay, so I went over a couple of the things that are going on inside, but let's talk about some functions now that we have a 2-button saber. So the upper is your power, and then the lower is your aux. Aux in the off state will change fonts. And if we need to go backwards, we'll point the hilt down, and then that'll go backwards. Now, there is, like I said up close, there's a strip behind the crystal. So the crystal does something in the off state, but that strip, so that it doesn't overpower the crystal, it only comes on when the hilt is on. Yeah. So, and it should react with blaster blocks, clashes, and stuff like that. And a lot of the other stuff will too. So again, I showed these things down below. It's programmed for a 32 inch. This is a 1-inch diameter NeoPixel. Now, what I did was I brought out my 7/8 because I use a little coupler, and I'll show what that looks like. It's basically a thin blade stock cut down to just like a little piece. So I don't know if that'll show up on camera, but it's just a 1-inch outside diameter thin piece of blade stock that I just kind of had on hand. And so that lets me use this 7/8. This is a KR pixel stick. So I just wanted to use that because it has the best functionality. So up top is your blade set screw. This is the emitter PCB set screw, so don't mess with that. And then if we took this off, that holds in our crystal. So with that being said, power. And just like before, there's only one preset that has a pre-on, and you'll only get the pre-on with the power button. So if we do that, okay, and then we got our regular blade style, and then twist on and twist off, but twist on and twist off will bypass that pre-on, okay? So in the off state, the power button, if you hold it for a second, will start your track. And then it'll turn it off. Now you can ignite the saber, and as long as the saber is in the upright position, then you'll get the track to start. But if it's anything else, that's when you'll get your force effects. So let's demonstrate that real quick. So if I'm kind of in the sideways and I hold it, it's a really long force effect, but that's our force sound. But if I'm upright, start the track, okay? So we'll turn that off. So yeah, and then, you know, clashes are just with clashing the saber when it's on, and then the button aux is for blaster blocks. We'll do that again. So if we use the power button to turn it on, we're not in battle mode, we're just in regular mode. So clashes will just clash, and then blaster blocks, but you'll use the hold the button if you want to do a lockup. Okay. Till I let go. Similar with the melt. Right? Till I let go. Or drags. Hold it. Let go. Now this is rip roaring loud because of the 28mm speaker. And I set it real hot, as hot as I could without getting false clashes. All right, so now that I twist it on, I'm in battle mode. So a clash will stay a clash a lockup will stay. If I clash, I'll be in a lockup until I pull away. And same goes with the melt. Until I pull away. All right. So yeah, so let's go to some reconcile other fonts just to show them off. Now the strip will do different things, but generally speaking, I think the crystal is going to kind of match the blade color, and I think both of them react to those things. This one, I think it's like a volume meter, so that strip, as you notice, it kind of lights up the louder the saber gets. So Corn Horn is the one that has the dual phase, so color change, you know, when we do the aux and power at the same time, will just directly change between instead of actually going to the color wheel. So turn it on, we're gonna get a white blade. And sort of what I did on the crystals and the accents is mix them between the two colors, just because I wanted to kind of keep with that lore. So like, they're not all gonna be white, they're not all gonna be purple, it's gonna be a mix of purple and white and stuff like that. But if we were to do the color change, it just went straight to purple. So yeah, and then the last is the battery indicator.
Battery level.
And so you can see here on my 32, it's mostly charged, so we're talking about like maybe 90. Now what I did for the accents, because you know you might keep this on the shelf, is some of the accents will go from like a green to a red. So this is sort of greenish, sort of yellow. It's probably better on the strips, the color. So you'll know that once it's in red territory, or once this is all the way down here, go ahead and charge the battery. Let me know if you have any questions. I put some Easter eggs on here that you can find out, hopefully when you get this. Hope you like it. Thanks.